I actually have a little story to tell in this video, and it actually involves this rather large and cumbersome piece of paper. Actually, can you actually see that on camera? In fact, you know, let's take out the plastic. This bad boy is actually schoolwork that I dug out of my bedroom that I had to do for a project. I found it, and it actually made me realize that this work right here is actually 10 years old, which is in fact pretty crazy to me. So I had to bring it on, I had to talk about it and do a video on it, but it also gave me some other ideas, because 10 years is obviously a pretty long time for anyone to develop a skill over that time, and I think I've personally gotten a lot better at doing what I personally do. It also got me thinking about what I've actually learned over that time period. What skills and expertise and pieces of advice have I learned and developed over the last 10 years as a graphic designer that I could give to someone else who is just starting out in this career. So in this video, I'm going to dive in and talk about the top things that I have learned over the last 10 years as a graphic designer. And before we jump in, just a quick reminder, I do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and every other Sunday over on Twitch. The link to my channel is in the description down below. And if you guys find the information helpful or indeed valuable in this video, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. So to start off this story, I was clearing out my bedroom a couple of weeks ago, and I found this. This is college work that I did. What's upside down? That I did back in 2011. So about 10 or so years ago. I was about 16, 17 at the time, and I was in my final year at college. And for our American friends, UK college is a little bit different to American college. It's basically in the same time period as senior high school, to my knowledge. That's what we're talking about here. To summarize, it was 2011. I was in my final year at college, and I was doing a media production degree, and in one of the terms, we had to do some graphic design work. And we were set a task to create a piece of graphic design that either educated, described, or informed something. So being the massive nerd that I am, I decided to do my piece on the then recently released X-Men First Class movie, which was and probably always will be one of my favorite superhero movies. And so I designed this. And for being 16 years of age, I don't think it's that bad. I'll put a full-size one on screen right now so you can actually see it in more detail. And you see these little design things, these little panel things here. These are actually done in Cinema 4D and then brought into Photoshop to then manipulate and then put text over like there was some sort of comic book panel or some kind of information card for the graphic design piece. And look at this, I even did like stuff on Magneto's body to show like magnetic fields or some kind of electrical energy, and I did the same for Charles Xavier with his mind power thing here. You know, like the old comics? You know how they used to show those kind of things, or even the old X-Men cartoons? That kind of thing was the inspiration for that. I put a lot of work into this. I also got top marks for it, which, you know, being a geek has its privileges. But digging this out of my bedroom got me thinking about who I am, about my past, about where I came from, and you know, where I'm going. It got me thinking about how I got started doing what I'm doing today, and I thought it'd be a beneficial thing for me to talk about those last 10 years and summarize them into some of the top tips that I can give you guys if you are just starting out on your own graphic design journey. Give you guys some tips that have helped me develop into becoming the designer that I am today. So let's jump in and start off with number one. Starting off simple, we're gonna keep it simple. One of the biggest things that I've learned over the last 10 years as being a designer is how less is more, and how keep it simple, stupid is a phrase that you should really have tattooed somewhere. Always think of what you can do to simplify your designs. Always think of the functionality of your designs and remove what isn't important. At its core, minimal design is essentially critical information that is made to look pretty. Information that has a purpose to either inform, describe, or explain something to a set group of people. For instance, a really good example of minimal design is actually safety signs. Seriously, look at safety signs and how they present information and present in a fast, easy to understand and minimal way. Which leads me on to my second tip, and that is use iconography wherever you can. Humanity has always spoken through images, all the way back from the cavemen and cave paintings up to modern design today. Icons tell stories in simple ways, and using them to highlight or display specific information is something you're gonna do a lot in design. One thing that's helped me understand this language better is actually designing my own icons for specific projects. Like for example, I did a video a while back, I'll link to it up here and in the description down below, of actually making some folder icons that I've used in different video projects and giving them away for free for you guys. For one, it's really, really good at helping me develop that communication skill of actually thinking, how can I present this data in a really clean and easy way? And it's also excellent design practice. I, for one, have used iconography a lot in all of my designs, from my offline screens to my Twitch panels, and even on my stream inside of the rotating metrics that you guys see when you come and visit and watch me. So start working with icons and using iconography wherever you can in all of your designs. Tip number 3. Always be on the lookout for inspiration. One of the many places I go to for inspiration and getting ideas for graphic design is actually from websites and web design. Websites combine the two main things that I love in design: functionality and form. You have a purpose with a website, you have a narrative, you have a flow, you are guiding people to click on specific places for specific reasons. Also, it has a form, it has a design, it has an aesthetic that makes it pretty for people to look at. Websites like Apple are great when it comes to looking at design for how to use negative space in the correct way, using the correct kind of typography, and how to tie it all together into a single experience. Next tip, redesign what other people have done. And no, this is not me saying you should go out and copy what other people have done and then steal that work as your own, because that's wrong. What I am saying is, for practice, go out and find things that you like, that you want to work on, and then recreate it to develop your skills in that area of design. I do this all the time when it comes to finding things I want to get better at when it comes to making designs. I always break things down into shapes to make it easier for me, but I do spend time researching and developing my own skills to be able to make more things that look really, really cool. Looking at the different techniques that different artists have done to create different kinds of effects in their own work, recreating them, and then applying them to my own work in creatively different ways. It is probably the best way to learn when it comes to developing a skill, actually getting in there and actually working with something that's materialistic and that you can see what's changing and how something looks at the end of it. It's like carpentry or DIY, getting physical materials and tools and seeing what those tools do with those materials to create different kinds of effects. Honestly, in my experience, it's been the best way to learn, just to jump in and just start making something. And finally, my last tip, and this one, it goes pretty deep, and it's something that's brought up a lot in my Twitch chat, so I thought I would throw it in this video. Very simply, don't judge your work when you are first starting out. So many people stop at the first hurdle because they look at what the people are doing, they look at what I'm doing, and they say to themselves, I can't do that. Just to be frank, it took me 10 years to get to where I am right now. This work right here, this work is 10 years old. This was my best work 10 years ago, and now my stuff is being used by professional streamers in front of thousands and thousands of people every single day. The things you do today will set you on a course to learn and get better and to grow as a designer and as a content creator, as a streamer, as whatever you want to be. In 10 years, you're going to look back at the work you have done and you may cringe, you may think it's the worst stuff you've ever made, or you may look at it and go, that's where it all started. I hope this video helped give you a bit more insight into my experience and my perspective as a graphic designer. If you have any questions about the things I've mentioned in this video, just a reminder, I do stream every single Tuesday and Thursday and every other Sunday over on Twitch. My links are all in the description down below. Or if you want to be part of the larger community and make some friends, we have a massive Discord community full of content creators, streamers, and graphic designers. The link for that is also in the description down below. And once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care. Whoa! Hello there. I forgot to turn off that 2x zoom overlay. There we go.